Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about pixels as well as animations and frame rates. So a pixel is the smallest controllable element of a picture represented on a screen. The more number of pixels in an image, the higher the possible resolution. So if we take a look at these two images here, you can see that they're very boxy and geometric due to the limited number of pixels in these compositions here. If we look at this artwork here, it looks a lot more smooth because there's more pixels. But if we zoom in, we can see it starts to get what's called pixelated. So again, a pixel is essentially a cell or a square to fill in with a color. Animations and frame rates. Animation is simply multiple still images arranged to create the illusion of motion. To create this illusion, humans should have at least 10 to 12 frames per second. So if we look at this image of a horse running, it appears to move. But if we really focus on it, it's simply just these series of pictures cycling through at a rate that tricks our eye to think that it is moving. Frames per second. FPS, or frames per second, refers to the ratio of individual images within time. So as I mentioned before, a human eye needs a minimum of 10 frames per second to create a relatively smooth gradation of motion. Now you can do 2 frames in 1 second for your video game design challenge, but it's going to be more rough, and that's okay, but that's more of a minimum starting point. As you're working with Piskel, you're going to be creating animations using the frame tiles here on the left toolbar. You can move, duplicate, and delete frames, and you can adjust the speed from 1 frame per second to 24 frames per second by sliding the toolbar on, or the bar here on the right to left FPS sections here. So let's take a look at one of these and show you how to make this happen. So I'm going to create really quickly a animation with a red circular ball. So I'm going to start by creating my ball. I'm going to put this ball in the center of my screen, and then I am going to come up here and duplicate. Once I've duplicated this, I can then move the ball down 1. And then if I click right here, you can see that it's toggling back and forth between these 2 frames. Now I'm going to duplicate this one again and move it down 1 more. And now it's starting to go a little bit further. And now I'm going to duplicate this 1 more time and move it down a little bit further still. So now the ball is appearing to bounce. But notice how it jumps up really quickly. Well, I might want to duplicate some of these in here to make this a little bit more smooth. So I'm going to duplicate this one and then drag it to here. And I'm going to duplicate this one and then drag it to here. Now let's see if I'm a little bit more smooth. Now it appears to pulsate or go up and down a little bit smoother than it was before. Now notice if I grab these frame rates and increase it to the right to 24, it's going to get really fast. Otherwise, I can slide it down to the bottom to make it really slow. So that's how you adjust the frame rates in your Piskel project.